In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take crumb fabric and make half square triangles from it. Hi, I'm Kim Jamison Hurst of Chatterbox Quilts. Now, if you're like me, you probably have lots of scraps and you may make crumb fabric with them. If you don't know what crumb fabric is, check up above or check in the description below because I have a link to a video on how to make crumb fabric, which is basically taking small pieces of scraps and putting them together. And I also have videos that show you other things you can do with crumb fabric. But today I'm going to show you a really easy way to make half square triangles with crumb fabric. Now, I'm going to be using my Martelli half square triangle templates, and they come in different sizes. So the set I'm using is a small one, so you can make either 2, 3, 4, or 5-inch half square triangles. I've already made a few of them from the 3-inch size, so this is what they look like. All right, so I'm using my crumb fabric on one side and a solidish because it does have a pattern on it, fabric on the other side, but a non-crumb fabric on the other side, because you don't want to put crumb fabric on both sides or it's just going to look like a square of crumb fabric, right? So that's not what we want. We want to have a half square triangle look to it. So what do I need for that? I'm going to need 2 pieces of fabric. One is a solid-ish. I'm using white in this case, you'll see it well. And then some crumb fabric. So here's a piece of crumb fabric that I've made. And then the big thing is to decide what size of half square triangle do you want to make. So I'm going to make I think I'll go with a 4-inch. Okay, I've already made 3, and so I'm going to go with a 4-inch one now. So this is what the template looks like. It has this no-slip backing on it, sort of like chamois, I always say, like you used to use to, clean off your car afterwards, or dry off your car after it had been cleaned, and it was all wet. So that's what this reminds me of. But what it is it doesn't slip around, okay? So it makes it really accurate when you're making something like half square triangle, like we are in this case. So I'm putting the 2 fabrics right side together, and then I'm going to take a marker, a temporary marker. I'm using a friction pen here, and you can see that there's this hole in the center, and I'm going to use my friction marker to go along and just draw on both sides there. And I want to kind of try and get as close to the edge of that template as I can with my friction marker, so I'm putting it on a little bit of an angle there. And when I take off my template, you can see it. Don't take off your template like I just did. You don't want to do that. So after you've marked your line there, you want to leave your template down, okay? Do what I say, not what I do, right? And then you're going to use your cutter, and you're going to cut all around the template. So I put it on the area of crumb fabric that I want to use. Okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit and then cut up, and I'm going to cut right through here. Now, this can be a little challenging, I will admit, right away, because there is an awful lot of seams I'm going through, excuse me, with the crumb fabric. So I may have to go over a couple of areas. I can feel here there's a huge seam there. Okay, there we go. So take your time, and like I say, you may have to go over a couple of times. But I start going back a bit, just with these templates, and then I'm going to cut up. There we go. I can just feel it through the cutter. And because there's this no-slip surface on the back, you can see I'm moving my fabric around here and nothing's moving, just the template's moving. It stays stuck to the fabric. There we go. So I've got leftover crumb fabric for another project. Okay, let's get all these little bits out here. Okay, so there we go. We've got these 2 pieces together. All right, you can see all the seams going on there in the crumb fabric, right? And so the next step is to go to your sewing machine and actually stitch right on those lines. You're going to want to stitch all the way along both lines and then come back to the cutting table, and I'll show you what to do next. So here I am at the sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch right along those lines. This is probably the toughest part, in that you have to remember sew on the lines, not a 1/4 inch away from them, okay? So I'm just going to start and sew up one side and then the other. Stop. Okay, so I've got these sewn along the lines on both sides, and then we have one more thing to do to create those 2 half square triangles. Now that I've sewn the 2 pieces together, I need to cut them apart. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But that's how it works. So actually what I like to do is I like to line up my half square triangle, or the square, as I should say right now because it's a square, on my cutting mat with the points along one of the lines. Doesn't matter what line, just along a line. So that will allow me to use my cutter and my ruler to get a nice cut there between. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's kind of nice if you have the same or same-ish seam allowance on both sides. Again, you might have to go through a couple of times, just carefully, to make sure that you can get through all those seams on the crumb fabric. This one's kind of funny because I had some white fabric in the center, so you can see how that shows up. So next thing you want to do here is, of course, press it open. And you want to press towards that solid fabric because you don't want to press and add more bulk to all the seams that are going on the crumb fabric, all right? So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you what the next step is. So when I'm pressing, I like to set my seams first, and that will also take off the friction pen, so it looks so much nicer now. And then remember I said we're going to press to that solid or solidish fabric, well, the one that doesn't have all the seams in it, right? There's one, and there's two, and what you will notice here is that that's not lying very flat because there's all those seams going on. So this is where the Easy Press solution really comes in handy. If you don't know what this is, check the description below, check up above, because I've got a video on this product, which is an essential tool in my studio to get my seams to lie nice and flat. It also is great for preparing my fabric. I always spray it on first, so it makes it nice and stiff, and so it's, well, it gives it body, I should say. It's not stiff, but makes for better cutting. You can see how nicely that's lying down now. And there is one other thing I need to do, and that's just to trim off those little dog ears. So I can either do that with some little scissors or with my rotary cutter. Okay, I want to make sure I've got this one down the way I want it. Yes, that looks nice. Okay, so I'm just going to trim those off, and then they'll be all done. And then you can see some 4-inch ones and some 3-inch ones, and you can continue on, as I say, with that set. Has two more sizes in it, the 5-inch and the 2-inch half square triangles. So it makes them really nice when you cut those off. Okay, I've got to trim them off like I said, but when you cut them off, you can see how nice that makes the half square triangle. It's a really easy way to do it with those templates and really great accurate results. So it's kind of fun to take that crumb fabric and make some half square triangles. Then you can put them together different ways into different projects, however you want to do that. Got lots of options, and it's another way to use up your scraps. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to share it with your quilting friends. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified the next time I release a new video. And before you go, check out these other videos I've got just for you. For more helpful quilting information, please go to my website at www.chatterboxquilts.com. Do, 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 do.